Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if this is your first time here. I'm May, and we're in front of my bookshelves today, which we don't get to see very often, but today I'm going to be showing the 12 physical books that I have to read before the end of the year. Okay, so essentially this video is 12 books that I have to read before the end of the year because I set a goal to annotate 25 books, and I have checked and I've only annotated 13. I just really haven't been reading a lot of physical books. The reason why is my digital TBR is so long. It's like, was over 100 and I have finally gotten it down to be under 100. And I just really put in the work to get that down as much as possible because I don't want to own every book that I read. I like to have a physical TBR and then I like to have a Kindle TBR, and my physical TBR is a lot more manageable now. My digital TBR felt like it was literally out of control. So I really haven't been reading a lot of physical books, and then I was like, oh, I set that goal to annotate 25 books. And I was like, maybe I've already read them and I'm good, and when I checked, I'd only read 13. So that does mean I have to read 12 more before the end of the year, and that means I have to read 3 a month. So 3 of these will be going in a month. I'm not going to tell you what month they're for. I'm just going to show you the books, and then when I do the TBR for each month, then I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm going to read these 3 physical books. But I wanted to go over the 12 books that I have to read before the end of the year. And I didn't pick all fantasy. I picked a good mix of fantasy, romance, and then some other genres. And, well, they mostly are fantasy. I won't lie to you. I would be lying to you if I said I wasn't going to be reading a lot of fantasy. But I'll start with the romances. I'm going to be reading 3 romances before the end of the year. So the first romance that I have to read before the end of the year is Once Upon a K-Prom. Once Upon a K-Prom. And this book is a recommendation that I got from my friend Paris. And she's like, I don't think you're going to like it. But I was like, for $7, I'm going to try it. And essentially what this book is about is this girl doesn't really want to go to prom, but she had a childhood friend and they made a promise that they would go to prom together. And he's now like an international K-pop star. And she wasn't going to go to prom, but then one day he shows up at her door and he's like, oh, hey, let's go to prom together. And how can you turn down a K-pop star? Obviously. And I'm not a K-pop fan, but I do like watching my friend be a K-pop fan. So maybe this is one of those books where I can enjoy it as it is, but I won't be fangirling over it. So this is the first romance that I'm going to be reading before the end of the year. Hopefully you can see this. The second romance that I have to read before the end of the year is In It to Win It by Sharon C. Cooper. This is because this is the only book remaining on my TBR that was before my birthday haul. So a lot of these are books that I have gotten from April till now. This is one of those books that I got last year, and it's one of the few I still have to read. So I just want to get this out of the way. They're real estate agents, and they're competing for a property, I believe. Yes. Okay. They are real estate agents who are competing for a property that they both want, and I think they're going to fall in love. Obviously, it's a romance. But it looks like it's going to be really, really cute and short. So that will be second romance. So this next one is called The 12th Night. And this is an interesting one. I didn't know what this book was when I picked it up, but essentially it's about a girl who doesn't really feel like she belongs anywhere. So she starts playing like an RPG type video game, and she creates like an alter ego of like this big burly knight, and she starts playing against someone, and they end up having like a lot of gameplay together, and they're like falling in love, but they don't know who they are actually in real life. And one of them is a football player, and I'm assuming that they're gonna find out and be in love. But it seems like it's gonna be like a really cheesy like rom-com, but I don't really know too much else. And it's a very interesting spread edge. It just says game on, which is cute, but it says it was the Reese's book club, so I think people have enjoyed it. And that is the third romance that I'll be reading before the end of the year. Now on to the 2 mysteries that I have to read. I'm just holding both of them. The Grimoire of Grave Fates. I really had no idea what this was going to be about, but from what I'm getting, which I didn't want to look too much into it because I never want to do for mysteries, what I'm getting is there is some kind of mystery unfolding at this school. And it is a book from 18 perspectives of 18 different people trying to solve the mystery. And that's either going to be amazing or really fucking chaotic. I haven't decided which one it's going to be, obviously, but they're each confident that they're going to be able to solve it. So it seems like Yeah, it seems like we just get perceptions from different people. Yeah, it's like Randy, and then the next one will be like, I don't know. So I just thought it was interesting. I've never seen a book. But it seems like it's even like, it says told from 18 diverse perspectives with chapters written by 18 best-selling and critically acclaimed authors. Wait. So each perspective is wrote by a different author? I didn't realize that. That makes this even more interesting. So it's kind of like a book with 18 different authors, pretty much. That's interesting. I think this is going to be really good. Oh, I see. They're in the back. I don't recognize any of these authors. Oh, wait. Yes, I do. The author of We Hunt the Flame is in this. Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. I'm really excited for this now. But it says 20 hours, 18 students, 1 murderer. And like each author writes a different student pretty much. So Everyone Who Can Forgive Me Is Dead is about a girl who was a so-called witness of a terrible crime that happened at her graduate school. And she didn't want to really answer any questions. So she fled and created a new life for herself. But now a documentary about those events is coming out. And she's going to have to confront the truth of what happened. And it seems really good, and it's really short, so I think it'll be fun. Sci-fi book that I'm going to be reading is Bonds of Brass, which is about a pilot, I think, who wants to desperately save his best friend. Yes. And he finds out that that best friend is actually the heir of a brutal galactic empire, and that's about all I know. So it seems like it's going to be really fun. This is a series, but I don't mind. I'll just add it to my 2026 series checker, because yeah, I don't want to add any more, so anything that I'm reading that's a series now, it will get added to my 2026 series tracker instead of this one. So that's the sci-fi that I'm going to be reading. And the rest of these are in fact fantasy. No one should be surprised. So the next one I'm going to be reading is The Midnight Lie, which says, what would make a good, quiet girl get herself in trouble, especially when she has so much to lose? Actually, is this a mystery and I didn't realize it? I think this is a mystery. Oh no, it says fantasy. It says it's an epic LGBTQI romantic fantasy about learning to free ourselves from the lies others tell us and with the lies we tell ourselves. Ooh. People of lower status are forbidden from sampling sweets or wearing collars. You either follow the rules or pay a tithe and suffer the consequences. Interesting. So that's that one. I'm going to be reading The Sunbearer Trials. I am obsessed with this author and I have been really meaning to get to this book. I might be getting to it very, very soon. But this is following a pretty much like a I think it's a demigod. It says how am I supposed to compete with the Golds? I'm not a hero. They have been training their whole lives for this, and I'm not even allowed to go to the same school. I don't want to be the sun bearer, not when someone had to die. So it says Seoul selects 10 of the most worthy semidoses to compete in the Sunbearer Trials. The winner carries light and life to all the temples, but the loser has the greatest honor of all. They will be sacrificed to Seoul, their body melted down to refuel the soul stones, protecting the world for another 10 years. So it seems like every 10 years there's like this competition that has to happen. I've heard such amazing things about this book, and I love the author. And the next two are actually in the same series. I desperately want to get to these. I got these when was in Chicago, but it's A Pirate Life for Tea and Can't Spell a Treason Without Tea, and I'm realizing I just showed you them backwards. This is actually book 1. It's by Rebecca Thorne. This, I have been told, is like very, very cozy fantasy. And I don't want to know too much because I think it'll be even more fun to not know much. But it says, run away with me. The mage has set her eyes alight. You like tea, I like books. Let's open a shop somewhere remote and forget the word exists. And then this one seems like it's going to be a pirate book about trying to hunt down dragon eggs. Yeah, very, very excited to get to these. Almost done. The next one will be The Neverlist by Jade Presley. This is one of my favorite authors ever, and this is actually their most recent work that has come out. And it's like multiple men that she can choose from, and she has to choose one of them, or maybe all of them. It says you're invited to choosing where you could win the heart of not just one prince, but 4. And I have the special edition because I got it for my birthday, and it's really stunning, and the men are all hot, let's just say. The men are all smoking, and I really love this author. They broke their wrists and then had to take some time off, but they are now back to writing, and I'm really excited to read what it says. What the dedication says to the readers who always struggle to pick a favorite book boyfriend. Don't worry, you don't have to choose. You can have them all, and I love that. And then the last one I have to read before the end of the year is Shield of Sparrows, which is by Devney Perry, who is actually a romance author that I have talked about several times. This is her debut into fantasy, and I have heard so much about this book, and I actually don't know anything about it. It says, if you're not terrified, you're doing it wrong. Long ago, the gods unleashed monsters upon the 5 kingdoms to remind us that humans are insignificant. They must pray to the gods for mercy throughout our fragile, fleeting lives. I didn't need an identity to remind me I was powerless. Being a princess had never been more than a performance. My sister revels in the attention and flawlessly playing her part. I was never asked to be part of the charade until the day an infamous monster hunter sailed to our shores. The day a prince walked into my father's throne room, ruined my life. The day I married a stranger, signed a magical treaty in blood, and set off across the continent to the most treacherous kingdom in all the realm. That was the day I believed that not all myths are make-believe, that lies and legends are often the same, and that the only way to kill the monsters we fear was to become one. Interesting. I think this is the longest book that I have to read. It's a thick one. I think it's like 700 pages. Oh, like 520. But I'm excited to read her debut. I'm really excited to read her debut into fantasy. I have, for the most part, enjoyed almost every book that I have read by Devney Perry. So it's going to be fun. So these are the 12 books that not only do I have to read these, I also have to annotate these, and I know what you're thinking, some of these are special editions. When it comes to special editions, I never plan on selling them. Even if I hate the book, I think they're gorgeous. So I don't mind to do like reverse tabbing, like where you put the tabs in the inside and still highlight and stuff. And that way I'm still annotating. I just won't have like the tabs on the outside like normal. And then the other books will have normal tabbing. And I don't want to show the tabs yet because I want it to be in those videos specifically. Because I'm going to make like an annotate with me for each one of these books videos. So I'll keep that part for those videos. But these are the 12 books that I have to annotate and read by the end of the year. And I can't wait to read these alongside of you guys and see which ones I end up loving. I think I'm going to love a lot of these. Especially the fantasies. The fantasies are all, I have very high expectations for them. But yeah, this is the video. I hope you guys have enjoyed watching. Hope that you've enjoyed seeing my bookshelves because I don't see them show them off very often. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.